Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is your latest news updates. I'm still buzzing from Wednesday. Literally, I've not stopped smiling since then. But now our focus turns to obviously the next game against Ipswich and Crystal Palace. But first, let's get to the news. The match preview for the Ipswich game will be the next video. In this one, let's talk about the injury updates on 3 specific players and also the latest transfer news on Gyökeres, a new defender, and Saliba new contract. Let's talk about all of that. So let's start with Calafiori. Obviously, Calafiori has missed out since the international break. He's had an injury. So what's the latest on him? So according to reports, Mikel Arteta said that Ricardo Calafiori could be back before the first leg against PSG. Now, we've definitely any player that has been out, we've definitely missed them. Even if Calafiori wasn't going to start, having him on the bench would have been great. Even if Havertz is not going to start, having him on the bench would have been great. Any of those players, even Ben White, the games is missed, even having him on the bench would have been great. Like, we need every single player fit, We going into a semi-final and a final of a Champions League, you rather have players like Calafiori in that bench, ahead of, 16 and 17-year-olds on the bench who've never played a game in their career. Obviously, you need a bit of experience. And Calafiori, games like these Premier League games that are coming up, because we still have 6 Premier League games coming up, if you want a chance to rest a Saliba, or you want a chance to rest a Lewis Kelly, you want a chance to rest even a Kivio, players like Calafiori have to be there. But the reason right now we've been having to play Saliba every single game and playing Lewis Kelly every single game is because players like Calafiori are out. But if Calafiori is available, that would be big for us, both in terms of rotation in the league games and also playing a part against PSG, and also hopefully another game after that PSG tie. So let's hope he definitely can come back soon and doesn't even have to play 90 minutes. Obviously, you have to also protect that injury. So even if he comes on for 20 minutes, that would have been great. But yes, we've missed him in the team. He's done a lot of He's done a lot of attacking work for us. He's been incredible for us attacking-wise. Calafiori has scored some really special goals this season. We've talked about his defending a lot, but his attacking has been really good. But you rather have him there as an option. So this is what Arteta had to say about Calafiori. Calafiori probably is not going to be available to, let's read that again, to face Ipswich. If everything goes well, I think he'll be back to face PSG maybe a little bit earlier. So let's see. He's on the pitch already. He's done quite a lot of stuff. We just need to make the right steps now to make sure that when he's back, he is in a good place to perform. So we're not expecting him against Ipswich. Ipswich isn't really needed. We still have other left backs who can play, players like Tierney and Zinchenko. So Calafiori doesn't have to be back for that game. But if he's fit for PSG, that can really help us. Because, for example, Lewis Kelly might be needed in midfield for a few of those games because Partey is suspended against PSG for the first game. Although you can also say, you probably don't want Calafiori up against Dembele on that side. You'd prefer Lewis Kelly. But Calafiori can play a part. You never know. Whichever position, he can definitely play a part. So let's see what happens with Calafiori. Next up, let's go to Jorginho, another player who picked up an injury last game, though, not international break. He picked up the injury in the last Premier League game, and we actually went down to 10 men. Now, Jorginho is our backup. He's the one who's going to come on for Thomas Partey, but unfortunately, Jorginho is injured, and now Thomas Partey is suspended for the first game. So, do you play Declan Rice there? Do you bring back Merino to midfield? I think if Jorginho was fit, he would play against PSG. I think if he becomes fit before that game, he actually starts against PSG because Partey is suspended. Now, not having both Partey and Jorginho, it would need us to switch a few things around, which you didn't want to do. You'd want to keep it the same as it was in the last game. And that is why you could see Declan Rice was so mad at Thomas Partey for picking up that silly yellow card, because we'd literally survived 2 games with, Rice not picking up that yellow card, Martinelli not picking up that yellow card, Timber not picking up that yellow card, and Partey picked up the yellow card against Madrid in the first game. And you're thinking, okay, second game, just be careful. And in the 80th minute or something, basically the game was almost over. Very unnecessary yellow card, and that cost us for the PSG game, but we have to survive. So hopefully Jorginho can return as soon as possible, because we will need him. I think this is his final 2 months as an Arsenal player. But let's see, this is what I had to say. Jorginho is not going to be available yet. He's still struggling. That's probably a question for the doctor. It's quite a specific and difficult matter, so I will leave that to the club to make an analysis. So if he's going to be fit against PSG, he's not quite sure at the moment. So he was hitting the ribs, I think. So at that time, it looked like he was just going to stand up and continue. But yeah, it looked like he was in a lot of pain. So we are missing Jorginho as well. I mean, in terms of injuries, has there been a player this season that hasn't picked up an injury for us? Literally every single player, even the ones who are usually on the bench, have been picking up injuries. Like maybe 2 players haven't picked up injuries this season. Literally everyone else, also including the goalkeeper, but literally everyone else has been out for a few games here and there, and most of them have been out for months, man. We've been able to adapt, though, so let's hope with Partey and Jorginho being out for PSG, if that's the case, we need to adapt for that game as well. So that's the latest on Jorginho. And then last injury update is on Kai Havertz. Breaking, Kai Havertz is unlikely to face PSG, but he's expected to return earlier than expected. Mikel Arteta said the way he's pushing in the gym, you cannot hold him much longer. Now, again, just like Calafiori, I know some people say you don't need Havertz. Nah, we need everyone to be fit if possible, and we also need someone to score for us in the Champions League final. You know, we need someone to do it. We've done it before. So Havertz doesn't come back today and then start right away. No, Merino's been playing too good, but having him as an option to come on, you know, games like those ones for Real Madrid where, you know, we're going to need to fight the last 10 minutes, you know, and Bellingham is stepping on people and all that. Rudiger is stepping on people. That's why you need Havertz to be there. Havertz is a gritty player, is not going to let players step on him like that and all that. He's going to be there for the fight and aerial ability and all that. He will definitely help you. So, and Havertz actually scored a lot of goals from Saka crosses in the beginning of the season, so that could help as well if Saka is putting in those crosses with Havertz and Merino both there. That would be great. And I'm imagining if there's a game where you're needing a goal, and you know, maybe you're trailing and Merino is playing, and then you bring in Havertz, both of them, and have them in the box together, and Saka is putting in those crosses, it would be better for us. So he is back, as I just said. You can't hold him back. He looks like he wants to come back really, really hard before the end of the season. Will he be able to do so? Now we don't know, because his injury was serious. He might be back maybe for the second leg. Or if we make the final, he might be there. But PSG one, I highly doubt he'll be fit for the PSG game. I feel like that is going to be so close. But maybe the very, very end of the season, we could see him on the bench. But that's the latest on him. My hope is that, you know, if players like Havertz and Gabriel could recover before preseason, that would be great, because we don't want to go into August with players just returning from injury and they've missed the entire preseason. We're already going to miss players like Jesus for the entire preseason. So players like Havertz and Gabriel, hopefully they can be back before preseason. So let's see, though. Let's see how that one goes. But that's the latest on injury updates. Next up, let's talk about transfers. So let's start with Gyökeres. According to Fabrizio a couple of days ago, I didn't talk about this, Victor Gyökeres' agents were in England in April for meetings and talks. Andrea Berta is a long-term admirer of him. He remains firmly on Arsenal's radar. So again, definitely keeping an eye on this one. This would be huge for us. If we can land someone like Gyökeres in the transfer window, that would be big, man. Like, I'm just imagining, yesterday I was just imagining, in 2 months ago, I was talking about, okay, the league is almost over. Let's just see how the PSV game goes. Let's see how it goes against Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid. If we lose those games, we just start building towards the summer transfer window. We appointed Andrea Berta. That was a boost. Now, imagine we are competing for the Champions League, and then Andrea Berta is attending every single game, and he's making all these good plans, and you're hearing all this good news about signing wingers and strikers. And then on top of that, imagine you win that trophy, and then we go and sign players like Gyökeres. Imagine the feeling that you'd have going into next season. That would be huge. So looking at our team is very good. That's why I've always told you people, I don't want, you know, sell players. People have been saying sell 8-9 players now. For me, Martinelli is not on my transfer list. For me, even Trossard is not on my transfer list really. For me, I'm looking to add to the squad, not not replace players, sell this one and then bring this one, sell this one, bring this one. No, even if you do that, you still don't have enough players. You've seen how much you've had to depend on players like Timber and Saliba this season, Declan Rice, because we don't have enough players. We need enough players. So if you have Gyökeres there, and then you have the options in some games of bringing in Merino, bringing in Havertz, that would be great. So Gyökeres, his agent was in London, so that's great news. Let's see how that one goes. Hopefully, this would be my first signing. If Gyökeres is a possible deal, this would be my first signing. So let's see how that one goes. That was according to Fabrizio. Now let's talk about defense. We talked about Huijsen the other day. Arsenal have been looking for a youthful centre-back addition for some time. They were previously interested in Vitor Reis, now of Man City, and have since turned their attention to Dane Huijsen. Mikel also values Premier League experience very highly. So looks like we're looking for a younger defender. We have also been linked to, obviously, Jorel Hato from Ajax, another young defender, to come and help out Gabriel and Saliba. So Saliba himself is very young, but looking for defenders like 19, 20, because at the moment we have Lewis Kelly, a midfielder, playing at left back at 18 years of age and he's doing great. And then Nwaneri, an attacking midfielder, also playing at right wing, and he's been another positive this season as well, as only 17, then turning 18 years of age. He's been very, very good as well. So imagine you also have another option defensively, another young player, and it gets to the level of Lewis Kelly and Nwaneri. That would be fantastic. And if everyone is fit, we have a lot of good defenders and enough numbers. Like, if everyone was fit, you'd have been talking about, okay, we have Saliba and Gabriel in central defense, and then you'll have Timber there, and then you have Lewis Kelly, and then Calafiori can rotate with Lewis Kelly, Ben White can rotate with either Saliba or Timber, Tomiyasu can play left back or play right back, and then you have Tierney and Zinchenko, depending on the game, depending on the situation, you can use them. You'd have like 9 defenders, and most of them are quality, if not all of them. All of them can do a certain job that you need them to do. That would have been great. But unfortunately, Tomiyasu is not available. Tierney is about to leave. Ben White has had a lot of injuries, or he's had a surgery this season, and then he's picked up a lot of knocks recently. Gabriel is now out for like 3-4 months. Calafiori has been injured a lot this season. So really, Timber is playing after an ACL injury. He's basically played every single game. So we've not had the numbers that we've needed. So we are going to also need to get defenders at the back, because by next year I can see Tomiyasu being here, and Zinchenko might not be here, and Tierney definitely not be here. So we will need defenders. So we are linked to Huijsen. Let's see how that one goes. And then more on Huijsen. According to Ghana blog, Arsenal's interest in Dane Huijsen is intended to provide a supplement to Saliba and Gabriel, not a potential replacement. Yeah, for anyone who was scared and thinking, "Oh my goodness, Saliba is going to Madrid." There's no one who's leaving. I don't expect us to make any big sales this season. There might be one, maybe a surprise in Martinelli, maybe, or Trossard. Personally, I would keep them, but there might be a surprise there in one of those players ending up leaving. But the big ones, none of them is leaving. Saliba will stay, Gabriel will stay, Rice will stay, Saka will stay. I don't think any of those will leave. Odegaard as well, I think he'll stay, so I don't think any of those players will leave. We might sell maybe 3 or 4 players. There's still players who have not signed new contracts. We don't know what is going to happen, but I can't see too many players leaving. So it will be a backup, not a replacement. And also, I don't think he can replace Saliba and Gabriel. Those are like the best defenders in the world. Next up, Zubimendi. There's been a few talks on him. Arsenal are confident their move for Martin Zubimendi will be completed by early June. Sources close to the club have told TalkSport that negotiations are progressing well to make Zubimendi their first signing of a busy summer. So those 2 words, busy summer, really excite me for the transfer window, because I know we are going to be busy. I know we are going to sell players. I know we are going to give new players contracts. I know some players might end up leaving that we don't expect to leave. And then we might finally get our striker and our winger and players like Zubimendi. But with Zubimendi, I've also seen, Real Madrid still want him, and there's still he's thinking still about joining Real Madrid. So there's still that. So that one is not 100%. But I remember a few months ago, we were already told by who was it? Basically, the journalist, I've forgotten who it was. The journalist who reported and said it's completely done. This deal, Zubimendi to Arsenal, is done. And After that, David Ornstein a month ago said, yes, it's definitely done. Zubimendi to Arsenal is already done. They're just waiting for June. So looks like it's a done deal, but let's see how that one goes. Why am I forgetting the journalist's name who reported this news? I don't even talk about too many journalists. It's like 6 or 7 of them. Saliba's on Saliba's contract, according to The Athletic. William Saliba's 4-year contract was a compromise, weighing the defender's salary demands against Arsenal's preferred contract length. When the deal was signed, all parties knew that it must be renegotiated in 2 years. So that deal will be renegotiated very, very soon. We need to give him a big contract. We definitely need to give him a big contract. I watched in the player ratings the other day against Real Madrid. I gave him a 6 out of 10 because of those 2-3 errors in the second half. But I've rewatched the game so many times, and in the first half especially, he was really good. The way he was, letting the ball run and shielding it away from Mbappe and making those tackles and all that. He was still very, very good. So he probably would have been a 7. So even on a bad day, it would still really help you. Now, not having Gabriel, Saliba is very, very important in this team. And per week, how much does he get paid per week? Let me just confirm here. How much Saliba gets paid per week? It's not a lot. He's not amongst. He's 190,000 per week. So that is not even amongst our highest paid players at all. We have like maybe 5-6 players above that. And in terms of importance, him, Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka should probably be highest paid players. So that's the latest on Saliba and his new contract. Let's see what happens. But hopefully we do get it sorted out. Also with Gabriel and Saka, we need these players to stay. You can talk about signing whichever players we want, but you also have to keep your better players. That's what you need to do. You need to keep your better players. So let's see how that one goes. Let me know what you make about the injury news. Would you what did you do if both Jorginho and Partey are out for that PSG game? Should we rotate against Ipswich and Crystal Palace and rest a few players who are going to play that game? And also the transfer news. Do you think we need a younger defender to supplement Gabriel and Saliba? Or would you go for an experienced one, or would you just bank on whatever we have right now and not sign any defenders and keep Kivio? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.